disclaimer, I don't claim to be a professional or an expert, so I may be making mistakes, and if I do, just give me some constructive criticism. I would appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. Getting ready to brew tomorrow. I got my grains, my yeast, my hops, and some other random goodies for my water chemistry. Let's see if I can remember without looking at the recipe. Oh, we got Maris Otter for our base. It's going to be a 10-gallon batch. It's going to be about 14 pounds of Maris Otter. Specialty grains, we got Crystal 80, brown malt, Victory malt. We got pale chocolate and chocolate malt. We got some maltodextrin and roasted barley and black patent. It's going to be a little bit of a complex porter. Gonna put a bunch of spices in it. It's gonna be a pumpkin porter. I'm gonna call it Chumpkin. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna split the 10-gallon batch up into 5-gallon separate ones. We're gonna do 2 different kinds of yeast. Dry yeast. I didn't feel or have the time to do a yeast starter, so I got some dry yeast. I'm gonna do Northern Brewer. It's gonna be a good combination with the chocolate. Possibly going to split it up as well, continuing not just the yeast, but we're gonna do cocoa nibs and possibly vanilla beans in one and leave the other one without, or maybe I'll do coffee in the other one. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but that won't be later until I do secondary fermentation. But yeah, there you go. I got myself a potable water hose, so I can just there it is. I can just get the water straight into my kettle. And so this is the way I will be measuring how many gallons I put into this thing. Is the previous owner created a system. He filled it up and then counted the gallons and then just measured from the top. So I'm gonna put 12 gallons into my sparge kettle here, and I have a here. Oh, you can't read it. The numbers. So 12 gallons is 6.5 inches. So I will just measure 6.5 inches, and this is upside down. This yardstick. Yeah. So 6.5. Boom. All right, you guys. I have my water chemistry all set up here. So I got my calcium chloride and my Epsom salt. I'm using Epsom salt today just because it works out better for where I'm trying to be at with all the chemistry. It's a weird one, but it worked out. I also have some lactic acid for my sparge water, which brings down the pH. Really, it's optional, but since I had lactic acid, I decided to right here, decided to use it. I also have some Camden tablets, and that is just for my chlorine in the water. I think the chlorine in my water is negligible, but because I have the Camden tablets and I do have some chlorine in the water, I will use them. But I'll put them in tonight, and then the boil or the heat will get rid of it because it doesn't work well with yeast. But I'll do it tonight, and I'll heat up the water, and it'll be fine. So let's add lactic acid to the sparge water. Cool. And these two will go into mash water, which is already set up, ready to go. Boom. And the cabin tablets. One in here and one in there. Cool. If you couldn't tell, it's nighttime. It's the night prior to my brew day. So we will be prepared and ready to go. Hey guys, just wanted to show you this really quick. And sorry, I know the screen, I'm looking at my computer screen. I know it's probably uncomfortable to look at, but I just really wanted to show you guys this really quick. This is my water chemistry, and thanks to my wife for figuring this out earlier in the year for water chemistry. But this is the John Palmer spreadsheet, and it's kind of a plug and play. I got my water tested at Ward Laboratories, paid $40 to have them test my water, and I got what I needed, and I plugged it in here, and it tells me what I need for the style. So I'm doing a robust porter, and I have my all my information here for my water water specs, and I use a site called brewer.com. It's a free site. It's kind of like a social media thing too. You can catch me there at BrewDaddyBikes. Just search for me, you'll find me. I have all my recipes there that I use. And then let me save this really quick. And I can go to my recipe, and here's my recipe. I didn't mention one thing. I'm also using flaked wheat. There it is. I don't know, it gives me all the information I need. It's pretty cool. All right.
Daddy, are you ready now?
I'm ready, Sam. BrewDaddyBikes here, guys. Gonna do some milling. I got my coffee.
Daddy, are you ready to design?
What? We'll pull the trigger. Whoa. All right, Sam. So we're gonna mill some grain. All right, pull that trigger, buddy. Pull it hard. All right, guys. This is probably my favorite part of brewing. I don't know, it's incredibly satisfying to mill grain. And there it is. I got it, I don't know if you can see this. Maybe a little bit. It's 0.040. That's where I have that one set. This one is set to 0.050, and it gives me a pretty good crush. It's a little finer than what you would get at like a homebrew supply store, so my efficiency is a little higher. I brewed with this setting last time, and I had no issues, and plus it was mostly Pilsner malt to begin with, so I didn't really have any issues with a stuck sparge or a mash. But anyways, check it out. All right, guys, I got it all milled. These are my flaked oats, or I'm sorry, flaked wheat. And I didn't want to mill that, so, but I gotta, look at that. Looks good. Ooh, is that some of these aren't even crushed. Let me see. Or maybe it is. Yeah, some of them aren't even. Maybe I milled it too fast. It looks good though. I don't know. What do you guys think? They look crushed. That's what we want. We want the holes to be intact so they act as a filter. But I don't know, I'm just being anal right now. There's the recipe, and like I said earlier, and you can just search BrewDaddyBikes at brewger.com, BREWGR.com, and you can see all my stuff and what I'm doing over there. But anyways, here is the mixed up grains. I'm gonna turn on my burners and get going. I got all my water set up the day prior, like I showed earlier. Yeah. And yeah, we'll get going. I got my burners going. And I just noticed this, and I put the water in last night. I have a very, 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 very slight leak. Nothing to be extremely concerned about at the moment. It's something I'll probably have to look at in the future. But that's like a 16-hour time frame, so not very bad. So we'll live with it for now. So I'm heating up the water. This is my mash tun. I have the lid off because there's only about 8.5 gallons of water in here. This one's got 12 gallons, and I want them to heat up about the same pace. So this one's going to heat up faster, so that one I'll have the lid off. So, and that's important to me because when I mash, if I turn this burner on, it's going to affect this because they're banjo burners, they're powerful. So I have to already have my sparge set up to temperature already. So it's kind of inconvenient, but it'll work. And then I can turn this on very, very slightly after I'm done with the mash so that I can raise up and have a mash out. So I have to be really careful about that. So yeah, just wanted to update you guys on that. And shortly we'll mash in and I'll show you guys that. Yeah. I'm gonna mash in. All right. So in order to not get any clumps, we're gonna do this. Oh yeah. If you guys care about hot side aeration, I don't. It's never really affected me, but I'm not gonna go too vigorous with this anyways. Here, let me show you guys. There it is. It's pretty neat. I'll show you guys here in a second. After I do this, excellent. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you this real quick. It is incredibly difficult to do this with one hand, but here we go. Try not to get too low so I don't affect the bazooka screen down there. All right. Just got done mashing in. I hit my temperature, 156, perfect. So this, it's not insulated, so the outside mash is probably gonna cool down faster than the inside, but it's not a huge difference from the last time I mashed in. This is the second time I've brewed on this system, so we'll see how things go. 156 degrees, a little higher mash temperature because I'm looking for that mouth feel. I'm not looking for a dry beer. This is a porter. It's gonna be a chocolate pumpkin porter. It's gonna be good. Yum yum. All right. And I would like to suggest something to you guys that I learned that is helpful to me is clean as you go. So like these are dirty, that's dirty. I still have that much time left on my mash before I have to do anything really. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean these things. I got my two fermenters here that are clean, but they've been sitting for a while, so I might just throw some water in there, maybe some soap real quick. I set up my little bucket down here. It's got my sanitizer in it, and I can sanitize all my stuff. I can sanitize those in it. It's gonna be very helpful to you guys, or to anyone brewing beer, is to just clean as you go and not to just sit around and let it all pile up, because it becomes a huge task at the end of the day. Just thought I would suggest that. Alright, I got about 15 minutes in, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do a pH test just to see what's going down, just for notes, because I've been treating my water and I've been doing water chemistry, so it is important to me to know if I'm doing anything wrong. So I'm hoping it should be around the 5s. These little sticks, they're not accurate down to the point scale, but I have them, I'm gonna use them. So let's see where we're at. I don't wanna leave it open for too long. Cool. And the just the color of the wort's gonna probably skew the stick. Let's see. Got orange, lighter orange. Let's see if I can just get some of this liquid off. Okay. And it's closer to 6. Yeah, maybe a high 5. Well, I'm close enough. Cool. I am done with the mash. Let's take a quick temperature. Maybe a pH rating. Yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. We'll see. Looks like the center is 155, so I lost a degree in the center. The outside is 153. So that is not bad. So what I'm going to be doing is putting this pan, and I'm going to Vorloff now. And if you don't know what Vorloffing is, it's where I drain off a little bit of the wort. I need to find a place to put this. It's where I drain off the wort and make sure that the runnings are clear, and then I pour it back in, and then I'll pour it into this. This prevents it. Pouring it into this prevents it from disturbing the mash too much. So yeah. So we're gonna do. And I take that back. Before we get going on the Vorloff, I'm gonna do a mash out. So we gotta turn the burner on. Man, don't do a brew day and then wait like 6 months and then do another one, because you get a little rusty. Woo! I'm probably gonna have to crank the heat up a little bit. Real quick, guys, I'll show you this. There it is. It's looking good. Then I'm going to take a temperature of my sparge, see where that's at, and hopefully it's at a good temperature. I think that's a good view. And we're going to Vorloff. Raise the temperature up to 169, and then we're going to Vorloff and then sparge. And we're gonna just do it really slow. Probably gonna be not very clear. Look at that dark wort. Looks good. And the reason I want to go slow is because I don't want to compact the grain bed. I don't want it to put all the weight down on the bazooka screen, which is preventing all the grains from coming in and then giving me a stuck sparge or a stuck mash. So slow is better. I could use the pump and just recirculate, but I've decided to not use this pump for wort, just for clear water, and so I'm just gonna do it this way. Unless I got to get more comfortable with the system before I start like changing things up. But I might do 2 of these. I'm probably gonna stop it right there, just because I don't want it to get too heavy. And you can see that there's grain. I don't know if you can see the floaties in there, but there's grain. And we're just gonna slowly pour this in. And this little pan helps me to not disturb the grain bed. It's got little holes poked in it. Real cheap. I could probably just pour it on really slow and be fine, but I'm a little anal like that, I guess. Just an anal. Cool. Let's do it again. And this is also probably causing the temperature to drop a bit on the mash, which is fine. I already mashed out, so it should have stopped the conversion, the sugar conversion. And then I have, this is a little over 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll sparge with that into here, into the sparge head. And I'm gonna kind of do a mini fly sparge, probably more of a batch sparge. I haven't gotten it worked out yet, but we'll see. Alright guys, we are going to fly sparge. It's not really a fly sparge because I've let it all drain out, and then I'm going to turn it on. It's just that this the system is, it's like all or nothing. If you want to show them right over here. The pump is very powerful. It's all or nothing, so I decided to drain it off. I turned it off, so now I'm gonna pump the water in here, let it sit for a second, and then drain it off. So it's probably, shut up! It's probably mostly considered a batch sparge, but just working with what I got. So I'm gonna open everything up here. Hopefully it doesn't leak. I showed you guys the leak earlier. And I'm going to open this one up. This is the lock. Letting it all go out. And I got to get the pump primed. I got to get the water going. There we go. Just a little bit. Almost have it. These air bubbles. There we go. Come on. Finally got it going. There it is. Takes a little bit to get going. Pretty cool system. You can move it back and forth, which is what I'll do. But anyways, I gotta measure and make sure that I'm not putting too much water in here. Woo! It's hot. I'm supposed to be at 10. Just over 10 gallons. No, just over 10 inches, not gallons. And it's coming out pretty quick. This pump is powerful. I missed my sparge water temperature, so I got the heat on right now. Yeah. Woo! It's hot. So, oh, it's hot. So I'm slowly just draining it off, real slow, and letting it heat up. There we go. Now you can't see it though. Ooh, I gotta turn that off. Just skyrocketed. Whoopsies. So I overheated it. I underestimated the power of my burner, and it just skyrocketed really quick. And so I'm above 170 degrees. I kind of think it's a myth. I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of tannins out of it, and if I do, it's probably not going to be enough for me to notice it. This is going to be a pretty complex beer, but because I have the temperature too high right now, I am draining off faster than what I wanted. I think it's going to be fine though. So live and learn. Second time I've brewed on this system, so I just got to learn it better. I knew my other system inside and out, but yep, just live and learn. It's all good. And we're getting pretty close here. What do we got? I need it. I need it to be just under 6.5. That'll give me 12.25 gallon. I have this bad boy tilted. I don't have a false bottom on the mash tun, and it's not sucking from the very bottom, and it's kind of just, so it's starting from up here. So I gotta tilt it in order to get everything out, but that's fine. I'll deal with it. Alright guys, I got about 12.25 gallon here, waiting for it to boil. And in the meantime, I took a gravity reading, or I will, just to see what my pre-boiled gravity is, and then I can calculate my efficiency. So let's do this. The gravity reading is low, and that's because this wort is very hot. And so I have to do a conversion calculator online to see what it is. And I'll get back to you with the number real quick. All right, so the reading is 1026, and then I have to have the temperature to convert it. So it's going up, 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 up. Ooh, 152. All right, 152. All right, so I almost had a boil over. Just because I was doing other things, and now I'm just waiting for everything to die down, and I'm going to add the hops. Ooh. Look at that. Vorloff didn't do very well. It's that bazooka screen. That'll all fall out. It's fine. I brewed an excellent beer last time on this system, so I don't think that this is going to be any different. Alright, I need to set the timer. And I got to pour that back in. I forgot to do that. That's probably until the boil. Yep, fill the boil. Back on. All right. There we go. I use a bag. I'm not really liking these bazooka screens. I need to order or get a custom-made false bottom so that I can have a better block. Because I think these are going to clog everything up. I want to be able to get all the wort out of the kettle and into my fermenter. Okay, Northern Brewer hops. Here we go. And sometimes you can get an extra flare up on the boil when adding hops in. And I'm only doing one 60-minute edition, 2 ounces of Northern Brewer, and it will get me on the lower range for IBUs for the style, but that's fine. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp the bag onto the side with a clamp. Yeah. Here you go, guys, for your viewing pleasure. The boil smells excellent. Mash looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting that the darker grains kind of scooched on over to the sides. Wonder why that happened. Comment below if you know why that happened. I can tell you I mixed it up pretty good, so no idea. Yeah, place is starting to look like a mess. Alright guys, got about 4 minutes left. I just wanted to show you what I got going on here. So we're going to put the spices in at flame out. That's what I got going on. Some cinnamon, pumpkin spice, pie spice, allspice, nutmeg, whole bunch of random crap. So here we go. We're gonna do that. Here's my cinnamon stick right there. And let me show you the chaos right here. We got absolute chaos. Wires and hoses. And I got a little pump that's gonna pump the wort into my plate chiller and into my buckets. And I have water coming from outside.
Pizza.
Woo! And then I got a hose taking that water to outside. And I took off the screen to my window. It's kind of turning out to be a nice day. But I've got a few minutes left. I'm gonna put the camera down for now so I can work. And yeah. Alright guys, we are now at flame out. We're gonna throw this bad boy in. I'll let that steep for a little bit. Go. Here's the cinnamon stick. Stop. And we'll let it sit for a little bit. And then I'm gonna turn the hose water on, let it get cold, and then I'm gonna start getting into the fermenter, and I'm gonna have 5 1/4 gallon in both. I'm gonna try my best to measure it out. I'm gonna use the little pump right there to help me out at the end. The weight of the liquid is gonna push it all through to begin with, but at the end it's gonna struggle. So I have a little tiny pump. It's a DC pump. I got it on Amazon. They're cheap. It's like a little lifesaver. So I don't know. The goal here, eventually for me, is to kind of get rid of all this crap. It's pure chaos. I want to streamline the process a bit, so that'll be my long-term goal. So yeah. 1056, original gravity. I was supposed to have 1054, which is fine. My efficiency was greater than 75%, so that's really good. I'm very pleased with that, and I'm gonna turn the hose on now and get this going. Had a little bit of a hiccup. The hose that I had recently bought at Lowe's was leaking on me, so I had to shut the water off really quick. And now I'm using this hose, and then I gotta double check to make sure it wasn't my fault. It seemed like the thing was faulty, but it could be my fault. But anyways, I am using a different hose. Things are moving along right now. I got it going out, and it's slowly happening. So it's reducing the temperature to pitching temperatures for the yeast. And look at all that particles. I'm not liking the filtration system with this guy. I really want to get a false bottom, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to affect very much, if at all. I don't remember having that much last time I brewed, so I wonder what I did different. I'll have to think about it. And I'm having to lean my kettle here. Little 2x4 there. Unfortunately, that kind of annoys me. I don't know why, but it does. So, yeah. Then I'm going to oxygenate the wort with my oxygen tank right there. It's a medical one, so I can't get it refilled. I got it from a guy when I was buying my old system. He just threw it in. He had extra oxygen, and there you go. And I'll use my my little micro stone right there in the paper towel right there, and it'll diffuse oxygen into the wort. I'll show you guys that in a little bit, and then I'll put my nice yeasties in there and close the lid, put airlocks on it, and call it a day. Not really. I gotta clean all this. I haven't even emptied my mash tun yet, which is pretty rough. Anyways, well guys, it's kind of a sad day. Not really that sad. It's actually an awesome day. I got myself some beer, but here's my 5 1/4 gallon right there. Well, there's 4 1/4 gallon right there, so I'm pretty much a gallon short. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna pour some of that into there and make it even, or just leaving it. I'm not sure. This is what's left. That is probably not quite a gallon. That is a lot to lose though, right there. I could tip it over and put some in there. However, it's not going to go through the bazooka screen, and junk might get into the fermenter. I could do that. I got some thinking to do, but they're cooled down, pretty much ready for yeast. Just gotta make some decisions, that's all. Look at the extreme things that I'm doing just to make it even. So wife is beer thieving out of that one and into that one. But what I did was, what we did was we poured the rest of this and tipped the kettle, and we poured it into another container, and then from that container we poured into there with a hop sock, and it filtered out all the junk. Now, it was probably less than 1/4 gallon what I got left from in there. So this is probably going to be 4 3/4 or a little less in each one, which is fine, not a big deal. But I kind of know why that's probably why my OG was 1056 and not 1054, because I didn't sparge enough. So next time I should just reference some notes and make sure I boil more or sparge more, or boil less. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. This system is pretty new to me, and yeah, it's all good in the hood. Here we are, oxygenating, pure oxygen. It's gonna be about a little over 5% beer. So there's the micron little stone thing. This thing is leaking, and it's gonna run out whenever. It's not full. It's pretty low. But I'll use it until it's gone, and then decide how I want to go from there. Maybe I'll buy a little normal oxygen tube tank for these purposes for homebrewing, or I can just do the old shake method or other things. I do like making big beers, so I probably will need to get an oxygen tank thing for those beers. Alright, here we go. Nottingham. Ugh, so hard to do. Oh! Crap. Yeah. I gotta spray that off. Well, this is exactly what it's gonna look like for the other one. So, yeah. Hey guys, so it's the day after the brew day, and I just wanted to talk about, it just didn't go as smooth as I was hoping it would be. It was the second time I've brewed on this system, and it was pretty rough. I had a lot of mistakes and a lot of issues that were somewhat in my control and were not in my control, and it's just how it is. So I don't know, we'll see how this beer comes out. I think it's gonna come out pretty good. There's a possibility of it maybe having some issues, but I think the percentage of that happening is pretty low, but I guess there is a chance of it happening. But anyways, overall it was just an eye-opener for me and my rusty skills. It's been a while since I've brewed, and I'm back in it and gonna brew several more times throughout the year or through the winter, and it'll be good. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching my brew day. It was my first brew day on YouTube. Cheers. Also, guys, I just wanted to touch up on the subject of carbon monoxide. I know I'm burning propane inside, and I do have a fan going. I have ventilation. I have this door open. I have this door open and this window open, and a fan going. Still not ideal, I know. I will be getting a carbon monoxide alarm here shortly. Unfortunately, I did not get one before this brew day. I meant to, but I completely forgot. So if anybody wants to yell at me, go ahead. I just wanted to let you guys know. Also, this bad boy right here, my pride and joy. I have had this for a few years now. It was very cheap, and it's worked for me the whole time, and it's been accurate, and I've had to calibrate it and stuff, but that's fine. I've had digital ones that just don't work as well, and this is cheap, and so I just want to let you guys know that this is my favorite tool here. Cool.